Donald Trump picking up the endorsement of Texas Governor Greg Abbott as he visited a border town yesterday. Trump's stop in Texas comes as he's escalated his anti-immigrant rhetoric and campaigned on hardline immigration policy proposals.
We will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. I will shut down this travesty, terminate all work permits for illegal aliens, and demand that Congress send me a bill outlawing all welfare payments to illegal migrants of any kind. It's poisoning the blood of our country. It's so bad, and people are coming in with disease. People are coming in with every possible thing that you can have.
Joining us now is Republican Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis of New York. It's nice to have you with us this morning, Congresswoman. We just heard from the former president there who said, and I'm quoting him, that undocumented immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. How does that language sit with you?
Well, first, let me say it's not anti-immigrant to say that you want secure borders. I think that's very important to make a distinction between people who are here illegally and then people who are following the process. And by the way, we have 1.7 million individuals who have entered our country who are not the ones who applied for asylum, by the way. These are individuals who snuck in, that have gone undetected by law enforcement, by government officials. And that's important for people to know. We don't know who they are, where they are, or what their intentions are. Now, among the 7 million that have come in and applied for asylum, only about half of them actually have legitimate asylum cases. That means the others are using asylum. They're abusing our system to gain access and gain entry. So that's important that we make that distinction. Coming through the southern border is not the proper way to be coming in the country. You should be applying from the next safe country, and then you have a process. And in my office, by the way, we've helped nearly 100 people become U.S. citizens who have followed the process and did everything right. But I do not support what is happening at the southern border because it is unsafe and it is dangerous, and we do see fentanyl streaming in, killing Americans, and we need to do something about it.
Just to go back to my original question, though, when it comes to undocumented immigrants, do you agree with the former president's language that they are, in his words, poisoning the blood of our country? Are you comfortable with that language?
Well, I don't know about poisoning the blood, but I will say they are bankrupting our country. I mean, talk to Mayor Adams, who's telling us himself that this is destroying New York. They're about to do a across-the-board cut. No more hiring of police officers. We have 6,000 police officers less than we had on September 11th, and we can't hire more because he decides to put individuals in shelters and hotels and provide all these types of services that we can't afford and that, quite frankly, American citizens don't even receive. So what I would say, it is a major problem. It is a major problem, and we need to address it. And we need Chuck Schumer in the Senate to either pass our border security bill or pass their own bill so we can reconcile the differences, but we need to take action to secure the border.
So in terms of that action, we should point out both Mayor Adams and Governor Hochul, of course, have pushed to do away with that Right to Shelter Act, which has been in place for more than 4 decades. That's winding its way through the courts. In terms of what needs to be done, former President Trump over the weekend, I just want to know if you would agree with some of these proposals, wants to expand what was his hardline immigration policies during his administration. Large-scale arrests of undocumented immigrants, putting them in detention camps for migrants who are awaiting deportation. Also talked about reinstating or expanding the travel ban for predominantly Muslim countries and bringing back the COVID-era policy of Title 42. Would you support those actions?
Well, some of them I do. Title 42 in particular. I mean, we need to know if individuals are ill. I mean, look, even on Ellis Island, people were quarantined, right, before they were able to gain access to the country. They were not just released coming in. And you mentioned the deportation. Look, we have people who are here that have committed crimes, and they are in the country illegally. Right now, New York City does not cooperate with any federal detainer requests. We have, under this administration, there are federal detainer requests to deport individuals who have committed serious crimes, murder, rape, and either in this country or otherwise, and New York City is not cooperating with the Biden administration. So we do need to deport individuals who are here legally that are committing crimes, and also the other one is the Remain in Mexico, which is another way of saying what I said earlier, which is you apply from the next safe country, and then you come when your court date is. Right now we have court dates backlog of 10 years. is the backlog.
And that is something that has been discussed
people
extensively. I do want to get
first.
your take. You talk about wanting to see some action. There is a bipartisan, bicameral legislation, the Dignity Act, working its way through that would, just so people are not familiar with it, it would, among other things, grant work authorization for undocumented immigrants, offer a pathway to legal status. Would you support the Dignity Act?
Well, I think that that's a good starting point for conversations, but I'll tell you, and that is sponsored, by the way, by a Republican, one of my colleagues from Florida. But what I will say is that we need to have cooperation on border security. If we can't stop the unsustainable flow, we can't address the problem that's already here. And so I would say that we certainly need to add more judges to process these cases quicker. Right now, 10-year backlog, and it's unfair that the Biden administration is actually taking those individuals that cross the border last, as opposed to those people who have been waiting in the system for years. They're getting pushed to the end of the line, believe it or not. And then on top of it, we need to make sure that we are adding visas for people who want to work. Again, we want to know who is coming in and out of our country. By adding more visas, we will know that and be able to track individuals.
Really interesting to see then, as you said, you would support it. And as I noted, bipartisan, bicameral support here for this immigration bill. We'll continue to follow that as well. Congresswoman, I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.